So after waiting a year and a half, the episode 1 of the Swordsmith Village arc is finally here. Today I'll be reviewing, breaking down, and I will be comparing everything with the manga as well. Before we start, this video will be containing spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled about the manga, you should leave this video right now. Later this week I'll be doing a review as well and a breakdown of the opening, so stay tuned for that. I did react to the episode 1 this Sunday. If you have not seen it, go watch it, and obviously I'll be doing a review breakdown like this for every episode every week, so if you want to catch all of that, subscribe and let's go. So the episode 1 starts with an anime only content scene. This is not necessarily in the manga. We have Goto, who is here at the entertainment district arc and is basically here to, you know, take care of the gang Nezuko, Tanjiro, Inosuke and Zenitsu, and even Tengen with all the other Kakushis. After that we jump into a scene that we've already seen at the end of season 2 with the master Ubuyashiki, who is really happy that they defeated an upper ranked after all this time. The only difference in this scene is the music and the OST, which is a new music that we've never heard before. I really like it. Then right after this is where we're getting into the good stuff, the upper moon meeting. As soon as it starts, we're already going crazy with the camera movement and angle with the Infinite Castle. They're just kind of flexing at this point just to show us how good the Infinity Castle looks. We have Akaza, who understand that an upper rank has been killed, that's why they're summoned here, and we have some great animation already to start with him getting a little pissed off just before jumping into I don't know what the hell did he jump into, but I mean already the CGI of the Infinity Castle with all the lights looks already better than the one that we saw at the end of season 1 with all the lower moons. And in the shot of Akaza before he jumps and he's mad, we already kind of get to see one of those effects that they're gonna use a lot in this upper moon meeting with like this I've seen a lot of people talking about the Bollywood effect. Yeah, just kind of those impact frames. We'll talk more about it. And by the way, I just want to give the credit of the guy who did the storyboarding for the all upper moon meeting. Hopefully I don't butcher those names, but Yuichi Terao and Takashi Suara, those two guys are goats. They've been so, I mean, yeah, Terao is just so good with this cinematography. Yeah, he's just, you know, cinema. I really hope we get them back for the Infinity Castle arc, at least for a good part of it, right? Then we get to see an anime only scene with basically Akaza just flying through the Infinity Castle. The animation here is just insane. I don't know how they created this, but they did. It's Ufotable. The CGI is so good. It doesn't feel out of place. It still kind of feels like an anime, even though there's a lot of 3D and CGI. This whole scene lasts around 1 or 2 minutes of Akaza flying through. Is anime only. There's nothing of that in the manga. In the manga, it starts right where Akaza is in front of Nakime, so this is all anime only and this is insane. The best thing about it is the foreshadowing of the place that we will see in the Infinity Castle. We see Doma's place with all the bridges and the water and his mansion. It's I mean, it's a lot more massive than in the manga for sure. I'm still not sure if it's gonna change or it's actually gonna be this massive when we fight there. So when Shinobu fights Doma in the Infinity Castle, when she stabs him and she stabs him through the roof, that's where I'm kind of confused how they're gonna do it. They might just change it, but you know, in this place it's so massive that there's basically no ceiling, so I wonder how they're gonna make it play, you know, here. So we'll see. That's something that I really like that they're doing, is they're making the Infinity Castle so much more massive. Like everything, it does feel like it's infinite, right? We do see this scene that might be a foreshadowing of the place where Zenitsu is fighting against Kaigaku when they're free falling basically. This might be a little foreshadow here, not sure though. Then we have the Kokoshi Ball fight scene as well with all the pillars. I'm pretty sure what we see here is actually the ground. And the pillars are just coming towards us, so it seems like there's no ceiling to this place, which I really enjoy as well. It's gonna make it like you won't be even able to compare the manga manga to the anime at this point, just because how big the gap is between the scale of in the manga and the anime in terms of like the battle scene, the attacks and everything. I like this shot of Akaza's eyes as well because it does look kind of like fireworks, and if you know the backstory of Akaza with the fireworks, this might be a little foreshadowing, maybe it's a reach, but you never know. And then we get this place as well when we go through. I'm not sure, this doesn't seem like anything, but we don't really have any foreshadowing or anything for Akaza's fight in the Infinite Castle, since in the manga Akaza kind of just fights in the Infinite Castle. There's no real like place or anything, so this place might be where Akaza fights. I don't know, this is reaching as well. But then this is exactly where the Upper Moon meeting starts in the manga, with Nakime and Akaza seeing Gyokko's entrance. So we have Gyokko's spot with CGI as well, and then Gyokko just starts to talk. So first of all, the voice actor for Gyokko is really good. I think basically every voice for the Upper Moons is really good. I think they really chose it really well. Obviously a lot of people had some doubts with like the trailers when we got their voice reveal, but I think now I think most people really love the voice acting that they chose. So the animation of Gyokko here just coming out of his pot is just amazing. It's so fluid, and there's this kind of black liquid kind of glue in this pot, which is really cool as well. It makes it slimy and creepy a little bit. I really love the little intros that they're doing for every Upper Moon, just right here with Gyokko, with all those shots and this kind of effects in front of it. Amazing. And we have a little bit of Gyokko's team, maybe. I think we get to hear a little bit of every Upper Moon's team, just a little glimpse of it. I think we got here for Gyokko, and it sounds like slimy and creepy, just like I said. Then there's Hantengu's intro. The man is on his stairs, really creepy. I love the little glow that there's around him, and his eye as well, the glow that it has. The voice super creepy, the team creepy but mysterious at the same time, a little bit like cryptic. Enjoy the little glimpse, like 5 to 10 seconds of his team that we got. That's another thing that I'm wondering, will we get a team for every clone of Hantengu? Guess we'll see. A cool little detail as well is that they changed the pattern of his kimono of Hantengu. It's a lot more complex in the manga. We did get a little glimpse of it in the Mugen Train when Enmu was talking about the Upper Moons. We already saw that the kimono of Hantengu was changed just like this, so we already kind of knew that it was changed, but here we can really see that it's not the same at all. And I understand why they're doing this. It's just more simple, because in the manga it is pretty complex for a kimono, and so if they want to keep a good animation and stuff, it's gonna be complex if they don't make it simple like that. Those shots of Hantengu just look so good. It's one of my favorite shots of the whole Upper Moon meeting. It's those Hantengu shots. It just looks so amazing. The details, the shadows and everything. Perfect. A cool little thing as well about Nakime is that where she is standing is definitely where she will be fighting against Obanai and Mitsuri in the Infinite Castle, you know, where she's just sitting basically every time. It's just cool to see like where she is actually gonna fight, you know. So we basically got every place that every Upper Moon is going to fight for this Infinite Castle arc. Then we have the Doma entrance, which is definitely one of my favorite of the old Upper Moon meeting, with all the lights flicking off and turning off. His voice actor is just amazing, one of the best voice actor in anime, and I think he just portrays Doma's perfectly, like his personality, goofy. We know Doma doesn't really have any emotions, and he's just playful and everything perfect. And seriously, the anime is doing exactly what happens in the manga. Basically every shots, every panel that we get in the manga are replicated in the anime, so it's almost exactly the same but just better. We have this amazing shot of Doma's eyes, who goes by really fast with all the colors, and we see his end coming through his eye. This is really like a realistic shot of Doma's eyes and just his end coming through, and you just have Doma's end and everything around is just darkness. It just makes it so much more creepy. They did Doma's eyes even better than season 2. At the end of season 2 we got to see his eyes, but it was just like circled with different colors just close to each other. Now the color just flows together. It's not solid color, it's It's just every color is mixing together. It just looks a lot more better. They just portrayed as well the relationship between Akaza and Doma perfectly. How Akaza dislikes him and Doma is just so playful and kind of, you know, he's annoying, you know. The scene where Akaza punched Doma's head, so good, because we actually, just before the impact where we see him punch him, we actually see the perspective of Akaza's end. So this is so cool. We actually see just like if we were Akaza's end, and then we switch to Akaza actually punching him. This regeneration of Doma is so good. Like when he regenerates, you get to see his bone, you get to see his muscles and his skin just coming together. It's just, the regeneration is amazing. Doma's team as well fits him really well. It's creepy. I feel like most of those teams are just banking hard on the creepiness, you know, and just unsettling. Then we have Kokoshibo's entrance. We get to hear his theme, which sounds so good. It sounds noble, it sounds really heavy, and yeah, you hear this theme and you're like, okay, he's that guy. And then we have Muzan's entrance, which is amazing with the camera movements again. And we have this amazing shot from above him with all the red lights under him. It just looks so great for no reason. This red lighting is amazing. One of my favorite shots is this with the drop of blood coming down and we get to see all the upper moons through the reflection, which kind of is a symbolism for a few things. You can say that it's kind of represent that every upper moon has Muzan's blood. It can represent a lot of stuff, but this is one of my favorite shots in terms of originality and just creativity. It's insane. This is one of my favorite shots of the whole upper moon meeting because we get to see really the whole place, the environment where we are. So we see at the bottom and the middle all the Doma, Akaza, the middle platform. We see the stairs where Doma came from. We see the giant stair as well where Hantengu is. We see Nakime on her little thingy, basically the center of the Infinite Castle. And then just at the top we see all the lights with Muzan upside down. It's just such an amazing shot. Again, Muzan talking, his speech is exactly the same as in the manga, perfectly the same thing with Gyotaro being dead, you know, Daki being his weakness and everything. I mean, all those shots with everything that Muzan is working with. He's trying to basically make the blue spider lily by himself, and all those shots look so realistic. It's just insane. Ufotable was able to create something that looks even better than real life. It just looks so good. And then we have this shot with the plant. I'm guessing one of the plant again that he's using to remake the blue spider lily. And this music in the scene where Muzan is getting a little pissed off and saying that they're worthless is just one of my favorite music from the whole episode. And this line as well is one of my favorite of Muzan. Can't you see you're falling in order of who has the most of their humanity remaining? Such a great line. I really like that. This moment where Akaza gets mad right after Muzan said that they can't find the blue spiral lily is a cool little detail because we know in the last time Muzan met with Akaza, he was saying that he couldn't find the blue spiral lily, and we saw what he kind of got by Muzan. So this is why he gets a little bit mad here. And this shot of Muzan where we see the liquid being blue, you know, the blue spiral lily, and then turning kind of to brown and red to show that it didn't work. This definitely was the tipping point that made Muzan break out in anger because, you know, his experiment didn't work. So he said, yeah, I'm mad. This whole rage scene of Muzan kind of reminds me in Bleach with the spiritual pressure. Just him getting mad, you can sense the pressure, and his line where he says that he can't find the blue spiral and the Ubuyashiki family for hundreds of years. This is definitely the most angry Muzan has sound, and I love it. This is one of the best shots of the whole episode for me. This is the glass breaking, and then we see Muzan's face angry with the broken glass just flying through the air. I've never seen anything look that good in terms of like CGI or anything in any anime for me. This is just amazing. I don't know how they did this, I really don't. This is a really cool shot where Gyokko gets his head ripped off by Muzan. We go into Gyokko's eye reflection into Muzan just then to transition with an impact frame like really white, just to go into Gyokko's perspective of Muzan being upside down. And since he just got his head cut off, we do see the exposure and the lighting getting darker. His speech here for Muzan, exactly as in the manga, this is really ironic by him, saying that he prefers the unchanging. He dislikes change so much, but he's probably the character that changes the most in Demon Slayer, from his Michael Jackson form to the girl form to the kid form, and then going back, and then his final form. There's just so many forms, so it's pretty ironic from him. Here, with him being mad, we again see a lot of impact frames like this. We got a lot of those effects in this upper moon meeting, like I said before. This is not the last time as well. Then this whole shot of Muzan seeing Gyokko and Hantengu head there, we kinda know where they're going, to the swordsmith, and then Muzan is out. They really portrayed every upper moon's character and personality so well in this upper moon meeting. It's crazy, with Gyokko being really weird and blushing, and then obviously Hantengu just being scared, just Doma being so hard to read, like playful, charismatic, and then just Akaza kind of feeling out of place and angry, and obviously just Kokoshibo being just calm. Don't care. This whole sequence with Akaza ripping Doma's head off is so good. I mean, the animation again, everything just looks so crisp. Again, here when Kokoshibo cuts Akaza's arm off, there's a lot of impacts for him to make, you know, his arm getting cut off even more impactful. And then this is where Kokoshibo makes a move, and every shot with Akaza and Kokoshibo looks so amazing. This shot looks so great. Again, we're gonna get a lot of impact frames, kind of looking like dissolves water or like soap. It's kind of weird. I mean, every impact frame here with Akaza sensing Kokoshibo's pressure and just sensing his presence with the eye behind him is one of my favorite little moments in the whole episode. It just makes him so scary, and you just, yeah, you sense his pressure. Like every impact frame here with the eyes behind him just looks so good. Right after that, we see a shot of Doma's head just regenerating again, and it's one of the best regeneration we've seen in Demon Slayer so far. Like, we see his eyes coming, it just looks so disturbing, like. And then his hair coming up as well is, yeah, I think this is definitely one of the best looking episode of Demon Slayer for sure, just the upper moon meeting in general. Doma being playful and kinda making Akaza even more mad is even better than in the manga with his voice actor. We have again a lot of those like white effects, and to make it more dramatic, I've seen a lot of people, you know, saying like Bollywood and it's too much and stuff. To me, it's just like, just right on the mark. If they would have added more impact frame like that, I would maybe not like it as much, but right now it's just enough. Like, I wouldn't want more. Hopefully they don't abuse those type of effects and impact frame in the future. I do like when they're using it, just not too much, right? And then we get the reveal of Kokoshibo's face, which looks amazing. It's not exactly like picture perfect from the manga. I do think his face in the manga might look a little better just because his eyes looks a little bit bigger here, but I do think the reason why they look bigger is because of his chin. I think his chin is a little bit smaller in the anime. Mouth and even his nose and everything are really close to his eyes. Almost the same, it's almost perfect, you know. I think the best thing about it is his eyes looks, the details and his eyes are amazing, just amazing. And then his hair as well, just everything flows so well. He looks so majestic. They're using again the exact impact frames and effects on Akaza saying that he'll kill Kokoshibo. Again, I don't want more than that. Like, that to me is just enough, right? It's good. I enjoyed it. It makes it more impactful. You know, they're just talking, but it feels so much more tense. But hopefully they don't use it too much, because it will give you a headache if they use it too much. Kokoshibo's face does look flat, but I don't think they could do much to make it less flat. With 6 eyes like that, it's kind of tough. But it does look a little bit flat, but again, it's not necessarily bad, but it is a fact. And then Kokoshibo Akaza just leaves. Gyokko and Hantengu gets photoshopped out of the upper moon. They just disappear like that because of Nakime. Doma and his cult looks amazing. The lighting makes it so much more creepy, like everything is just kind of blue and dark, but then you have his eyes that are just glowing. And this last shot of him with his thing on his head looks so good, exactly as in the manga. Next we have a 3-minute sequence of Yorichi. A lot of anime only are really confused with this. Tanjiro's dad, Tanjiro's ancestor, Upper Moon 1. Again, the animation here in terms of just background, how Yorichi looks, the colors, everything is perfect. Yorichi's voice, really good, you know, makes it more, you know, it's calm, it sounds powerful at the same time. Sumiyoshi looks perfect as well. He looks just like Tanjiro but with a ponytail and without his scar. The dialogue is still the same as in the manga as well. I think that surprised me a little bit when I saw it for the first time is that I didn't expect Yorichi's eyes to be that pink. To me, I thought his eyes would be like red, just like his mark and his hair, but I guess maybe they decided to make it more pink just because they don't want everything to be just red, you know. His sword in terms of color, exactly as I thought, looks amazing. The music that they're using as well with his speech at the end saying my name is as worthless as I am, which makes me so sad, but the music is so freaking good. It's sad, it's emotional, I love it, it's perfect. And then this is basically where we come back to, you know, the aftermath, 2 months after the entertainment district, Tanjiro being pretty beat up. In the manga it does look worse, like more sick and stuff. In the anime it looks a little bit better, it doesn't look like he's on the brink of death or anything, just like in the manga. Kanao and Tanjiro's relationship here is really portrayed well. This all Goto dialogue as well is exactly as in the manga. After that we kind of get the classic Demon Slayer comedic relief. We have this sequence of Aoi just coming with like as a ghost. The animation is so clean on that part. I don't know why they went so hard, but it looks really good. We get an anime only content scene as well with Tengen just leaving by himself, which is really funny. I like that as well. Then the one of the most funniest scene with Inosuke on the ceiling, like my man thinks he's Spider-Man or something, is, and then just him following and saying Tampachiro is even funnier. And I think it's just so kind of cute by Inosuke saying shame on you for making us worry, showing that, you know, he's like that, but it's just because he really cares for Tanjiro. Like, it's just awesome to see how much Inosuke loves Tanjiro. And this whole scene with Kanao screaming, saying that Tanjiro fall asleep again is really cool as well to see her really voice herself. We get an anime only content scene again with Tamayo's cat, which is cool because we know that Tamayo is gonna have to do something at the end of the arc as well with, you know, Nezuko and everything. Then we actually get to see Inosuke, you know, heading out onto his mission. And Zenitsu as well, which is an anime only content scene with his scarf, you know, screaming, just saying that he's scared and everything, classic Zenitsu. Then this scene with Tanjiro getting the letter of Aganezuka saying he'll curse you, he hates him and everything is a little bit different from the manga. In the manga it's a little bit more harsh, I would say. Then this whole scene with Tanjiro going to the swordsmith, getting passed by the Kakushi is exactly as in the manga. I like the narration that we get from Tanjiro talking about the swordsmith, that it's hidden and everything, and this transition with the sword into the actual road is a really cool transition. Then we actually see the swordsmith. I'm pretty sure Ufotable are starting to use more the Unreal Engine, and I'm pretty sure they might be using that here in this scene, so it's kind of more CGI and stuff, so that they can make this kind of camera movement. The swordsmith here looks amazing. It does look different from the manga. In the manga, basically just enveloped by trees, and here there's not much like trees. There's just some trees around it, but it's mostly mountains around it. In the manga it's not exactly like that. We don't see much mountains and stuff, so interesting choice. The old lighting here with the sunset is really great. And then we get the infamous scene, the Mystery Batson, and let me tell you, that they did the manga justice on that one. They really showed their cake for no reason. That wasn't in the manga, but hey man, we'll take it. This old speech with the master of the swordsmith was really small. I really like the change of his voice when he says it's actually Aganiska's fault for the sword breaking. Then we get an anime only content scene where Tanjiro just is walking through the swordsmith with this other swordsmith guy, and just seeing basically swordsmith doing the swords, forging the swords, which is a really cool addition because in the manga we don't see anybody doing, I mean other than Aganiska obviously, we don't see really much people doing swords when we're in the swordsmith. So, and just the whole animation, and I know they said that Ufotable got some real swordsmith, blacksmith for the sound effects. You know, Ufotable are really, they really want everything to be perfect. Every background and scenery, like just here the environment with the trees just looks so great. One of the best looking environment and just background in any anime. That's just crazy in every shot almost. And then again, if we were not done with Mitsuri's scene, we get this incredible Sakuga scene with the physics. The guy that worked on that knows his physics for sure. And the guy that did the key animation for this scene is called Shoji Koyama. So Shoji, thank you, my man. You are a saving grace. You need a raise for sure. And this guy was definitely animating the scene with one hand for sure. So he's even more talented than you think for sure. Then we get Tanjiro meeting with Genya. But Genya looks jacked. He looks just perfectly animated, exactly as in the manga or even better. I love the little details of here Tanjiro with his scar on his shoulder, which is from Daki's attack in the Entertainment District arc when she basically just transformed. And I mean, for a guy that was 2 months into a coma, my man is pretty jacked in like 1 week. After that we have this conversation with Mitsuri and Tanjiro. Again, most of the conversation in this episode are exactly the same as in the manga, so I'm not gonna talk about what they say in the manga because it's the same thing. They talk about Genya and Sanemi being brothers and the bad relationship that there's between them, which is, you know, a really important subject for the future. And this whole scene with Mitsuri and Nezuko is so damn cute, bro. I can't take it. You love to see the relationship of Mitsuri and Nezuko. And then Tanjiro asks her why she's a demon slayer, and she gives her reason, which I mean, it's kind of fair. She's so strong and she wants someone stronger than her to be her husband, so I mean, I guess she's at the right place. I really like this phrase when she says we might not live to see each other again, but let's fight the good fight. A really cool phrase. I like that about her, and it definitely makes, you know, you kind of really understand that, you know, she's serious about it, even though, you know, how she acts before that. Then we have this scene where Mitsuri says you can stay here longer. We have this Kakushi girl in the back. I don't know what's her deal. What she's kind of creepy. What in this whole scene with Mitsuri saying to him like there's a weapon stronger, she's talking about the Yorichi Type 0. They made after that, when she whispers in his ears, they made it so like sexual and sensual. It's so funny. And Tanjiro with his nosebleed, we can't blame the guy, you know. This old shot here with Tanjiro meditating and, you know, using total concentration looks so, it's one of the best looking background of the whole show to me. It just looks so amazing. And I like this phrase here where Tanjiro talks to Nezuko and he says, I want to look for the secret weapon that'll make you stronger. How can you be a good guy like him, bro? And then we end the episode with Muichiro talking with the little swordsmith boy, and he's asking for the key. We see the Yorichi doll behind him, and Tanjiro is like, this is the Mist Ashura, and then he's like, who is that other guy? And we see the Yorichi Type 0 from the back with the earrings. A lot of animes only are like, wait, what the hell? Upper Moon 1 is ear and stuff. Ufotable know what they're doing with this, making it like his ear, but it's, you know, actually it's a doll. And the music at the end here with the Yorichi doll is amazing. I mean, what the hell is Goshina cooking, bro? Goshina is the guy who works on the music as well. I'm pretty sure for the whole episode he's cooking. We have some credits at the end which we see some visuals from the swordsmith village. Then we get this amazing shot with all the swords. We have the Tanjiro sword, Then we see Zenitsu's sword, which looks a little bit different. Obviously Zenitsu's sword is, the handle is white, here it's black, but it's definitely Zenitsu's sword. We have Inosuke's sword, then we have Kanao's sword, then after that the one with the black and red handle is Genya's sword. I think a lot of people probably don't know that, but it's definitely Genya's sword. After that we have Muichiro's sword, we get to see Obanai's sword as well, and Mitsuri. We have Rengoku's sword, Shinobu's sword, Sanemi's sword, Gyu's sword. We have Tengen's sword, then we're even able to see Guillaume's weapon as well, and then the last one is Yorichi's sword. So that does it for episode 1. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of like adaptation of the manga. It's perfect in terms of just the animation. The second episode is basically called the Yorichi Type 0. I'll be doing this for every reviews. At the end of every videos I'll be doing a prediction for the next episode. So since it's called the Yorichi Type 0, I think this episode 2 will start at chapter 102, and I hope it ends at the end of chapter 104. So hopefully we get 3 chapters adapted in the next one. There's a lot of dialogue, so I doubt it, but I think it would be a good pace since there's just so many dialogues and there's not a lot happening. We'll definitely see some fight between Muichiro and Yorichi Type 0, and maybe Tanjiro versus the Yorichi Type 0 as well. So I'm hoping we end when Tanjiro cuts the Yorichi Type 0's head and we see the sword inside it. That would be the perfect end of the episode 2 for me. So don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my reaction of episode 2 this weekend, and for every reviews of every episode of this season. Don't forget to like the video because it does help me. This takes a lot of time. Let me know what I can improve on those reviews, what you would like me to talk about more for the next ones. And I guess I'll see you guys this Sunday for episode 2. Alright, see ya.